skeletons.
Land underneath us. What?
Do you come from a skeleton emanating out of light?
The weight's gonna roll up.
Hello everybody, here is the familiar sight of a valve radio, but it's not just any valve radio. Now, I've got a shelf with a few valve radios on there. There's a valve radio down there, there's another valve radio somewhere, and there's a valve radio here that I've just finished. And as you can see, it looks pretty nice. But we're not here about them radios. And I've just fallen over something. We're not here about them radios, we're here about this one. And this is a Bosch VHF61 from 1959. They started making these, I think, in 1956 and stopped around about 1961. Now, as you can see, this is Bosch's first attempt at making a continental style receiver, which was typified by Zaba, Grundig, Philips, and some Polish manufacturers as well. I'm not even going to try and pronounce their names. But yeah, this is a beautiful radio and it sounds excellent. Well, what have I done to it? Well, you might be able to see the mess of components on the top, and I had to replace no more than 21 Hunt's mould seal capacitors. Some of them, like this for example, this one here, these ones ended up in the bin because they just crumbled away. Because you may think that the worst capacitors are the wax variety. Well, yes, they are the worst kind of capacitor, and these actually came out of that radio. Whenever I get one, I just replace all the capacitors by default, and then if that solves all the problems, check the resistors, or if that hasn't really solved all the problems, check the resistors and replace them, bits and pieces. But that one only needed one resistor replacing and all the caps coming out and clean up, so that one was pretty easy. This one wasn't so. So oh yeah, by the way, these Hunt's mould seal capacitors, they're just as bad as the wax ones, because the thing that makes these old radios not work is the capacitors failing. And the capacitors fail mostly because they get moisture inside them, and these cases are prone to crack. And yep, you've guessed it, when they crack, the moisture gets into the dielectric fluid, dries it out, and the capacitor doesn't capacitate. Is that the right word? I think so. And electrolytic capacitors like this one here, they go leaky. I'm not going to go into what that means, but they go electrically and physically leaky sometimes. This one didn't go physically leaky, but it was electrically leaky. Now, as you can see here, there are some wax capacitors, some tiny ones, but yeah, nearly all these Hunt's mould seal capacitors were basically knackered, broken. So yeah, had to replace all of them, and the set basically worked. Now, I opened it up by playing medium wave. I may think, well, why are you playing medium wave when this is a VHF machine? There's a good reason for that, and it is because of these little buggers here. And these two little resistors have caused me so much trouble, it's untrue. This resistor was on the wave change switching the HT to medium wave, and that had gone open circuit, so no HT was getting to medium wave. And this resistor here was in a decoupling stage, and that was causing all manner of problems. That was causing earthing problems, and it was motorboating. Now, another thing is as well, if you put a radio on and it starts going thud, pop, 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 thud, 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 like that, that is down to capacitors mostly, and that's what this did. It didn't tune in at all on VHF, it just went wee, and then after a minute it started going thud, pop, 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 pop. Replaced all the capacitors and VHF worked beautifully. Medium wave and long wave didn't, as I say, because of these two resistors here. Now, this is a VHF medium and long wave set, and I don't really want to be pointing with that because I might break the cabinet. I'll use a stick. This is a VHF medium and long wave set, so it covers all the bands you really need. The scale goes 88 to 101, so you can just about get classic FM up here. You've got your volume control here and your tone control here. Now, weirdly, the tone control is actually on the inside and the volume control is on the outside. Yes, Dad? What would you? What? What do you
I'm going to go to Chinese. Do you want anything?
want? My usual, please.
Salt and pepper chicken.
Yes. Thank you.
Do you want chips or rice with it?
Egg fried rice, please. Thank you. Sorry for that interruption. So volumes, volumes here, and tone is there, and there's your tuning. Now, one thing about these knobs is the plastic of these knobs is very old, and when plastic gets old, it either cracks, disintegrates, or expands. And these the plastic on these knobs literally expands, and they rub against each other. So carefully filing the plastic back down again, that solved them from rubbing. Now I'm going to have to put these capacitors back in the box now, because when I ever do a set, I always put the components that I always put the components that I've taken out of the set in a box. And the reason I do this is because if I want to sell the set later on, I include the components that I've changed, so to prove to the customer that I have really done what I said I've done, and I also take pictures of the chassis. So there we go. If we turn it round, hang on a minute. How silly of me, I've got wax now all over the cabinet. Let me turn it round for a second. Oh god, she's heavy. Here's the back, and on the back obviously it says type VHF61 Bush radio. You've got your pickup socket there. Aerial is medium wave here, so you've got aerial, sensitive, selective and earth there, and your built-in VHF aerial here. Now I'm going to take the back off, which is going to be hilarious, because when I made this video I forgot to undo the screws for the back cover, because I'm so well prepared, as everyone should know by now. This is actually not a very nice thing to do, because the screws are underneath the cabinet and it's an absolute pain to get at them. If I swear, do I have to bleep it out? I think I do, don't I? So I'm not even pointing the camera at anything. I do apologise. And that's horrendously out of focus. There we are. Now I'm going to have to unplug the VHF. Oh, I don't really... Yeah, alright. So what I'll do, I'll switch it off. I will unplug the VHF aerial and take the back away. So, and the screw is just falling on the floor. That's great, isn't it? Right, let's switch it on. So here is the chassis. There you've got your EL80. I forgot what bloody valve it is. Oh great. There's your there's your rectifier EZ80. There's your output valve. There's two EABC80s there. I think they are EABC80s, are they? No, they're EF89s. There's two EF89s there. Your EABC80 is... No. Your ECH81 is there. Your EABC80 is there. Rectifier's there. And the ECC85 is there. Now, I'll replace the ECC85. I bet if I was to touch that, Classic FM would come on, will it? Yeah. There's your speaker output transformer. Very well, I forgot the capacitor there. Oops. But Bush was very nice in you don't have to unsolder anything to take the chassis out. With a lot of radios, you have to unsolder the speaker connections to take the radio out. But this they're held in by little screw terminals, which is really nice because you don't really have to unsolder anything, which is always nice. Simplicity. That's why I like Bush equipment. I think that Bush really did think their receivers through, and I can't get that back in there. There we are. So let's just turn it back around and have a little sweep of the VHF band.
Feel so small and helpless at my feet. And it starts to shine.
And that's Radio 1.
And Rock FM.
Radio 4.
As though it's done, you know, from his
Oh yes, it's got a
point
magic
of
eye
view. We
as
don't
well.
really hear
This is
from
a bit dim.
the bad guys
If I
in this
tune out
movie.
of Radio 4, you'll see that the petals will go out like that, and when you
She was
go into
accused of
Radio
being
4, they close
harsh on
again.
the Fossil Hunters.
And there's your magic eye. So we're going to Radio 3. And last but not least, Radio 2 is down here. So everybody, thank you very much for watching this video about the Bosch VHF61 valve radio. Thank you for watching. See you all very, very soon.